There was an article yesterday, and I think I actually even mentioned it. There are a couple things here that I want to mention, and it's about Jarrett Allen. So, Jarrett Allen, obviously, part of the conversation today. I put it in my topics, I put it in the rundown and everything else. Again, here's another player that I'm not telling you there's a ton of rumors and, oh my gosh, this is going to happen. But ESPN did something yesterday that maybe they don't typically do. They just kind of shot some trade ideas, options out there. And a lot of it was based around Cooper Flag and what the Mavs are going to do with Cooper Flag. And all of a sudden, Jarrett Allen became a piece that would come to the Lakers. Let's spend a second on that. I would probably pay less attention to this if I didn't see this article out there. There's somebody who covers the Cavs, Cleveland.com's Chris Fedor, recently relayed on the Wine and Gold Talk podcast that the Cavaliers seem more willing to entertain or at least consider possibilities for Jarrett Allen than they have in the past. So I think as the Cavs try to improve their roster, they obviously got Evan Mobley. They got some big men. I think there were some times that they weren't even using Jarrett Allen in the postseason. How do they compete? They won 64 games, and then they were out in the second round of the Pacers. What do they do? Kind of how do they not rebuild their team, but what changes do they make in the offseason? And the fact that podcast from somebody who covers the Cavs says that they're more willing to entertain or at least consider possibilities for Jarrett Allen than they have in the past kind of sparked the conversation for me of like, all right, well, then a lot of these articles that I'm seeing out there that has a little bit of some of the conversation in regards to Jarrett Allen. Let me show you guys that article from yesterday. So ESPN yesterday is it a little bit of a pipe dream? Sure. But I'm going to show it anyways. This is the way ESPN was looking at it. They were saying that if the Dallas Mavericks actually were to make a move and not draft Cooper Flag, one of those scenarios had Jarrett Allen landing with the Lakers. So how did we get there? Let me show everybody this real quick. This was, by the way, on the front of ESPN yesterday. So if you guys see the article, one was, obviously the Mavs keeping the number one pick. And then they did 3 trade scenarios. I'm not going to get in all of them, to be honest with you. One of them was pairing Cooper Flag with Victor Wembanyama, getting some other draft assets, this and that. Okay, leave that to the side. I think if the Dallas Mavericks trade Cooper Flag, they're going to be trading him for a real player because according to Nico Harrison, they would be trying to, obviously compete right now. I don't think they're going to trade Cooper Flag, by the way. Here's one of the trade scenarios that ESPN threw out there. Okay, so let's just all kind of look at this together, and this is why I'm tying Jarrett Allen back to the Lakers. Cavs form a new star trio in Flag, Mobley, and Garland. Dallas Mavericks get Donovan Mitchell, a 31 first-round pick, some other picks as well, most of those coming from the Lakers. Cavs get the number 1 pick, which they would obviously draft Cooper Flag. Couple Lakers on here as well, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and PJ Washington, and center Daniel Gafford. And then the Lakers would get Jarrett Allen. And the only other team involved in this is the Chicago Bulls. Dalton Knecht and Caleb Martin go out as well. They end up with the Chicago Bulls. From just a Laker perspective, Lakers give up their 2031 draft pick. They give up Dalton Knecht. They give up Gabe Vincent. They give up Maxi Kleber. And basically, when the dust settles, they end up with Jarrett Allen. That's a wild trade right there. Donovan Mitchell goes to the Dallas Mavericks. A lot of moving parts. Do I think that the Dallas Mavericks fan base and that franchise will allow them to do anything other than draft Cooper Flag? Probably not. I think the only scenario out there is literally Cooper Flag has to be a Dallas Maverick because just because of the scenario of them obviously trading who they did trade and the fact that they trade Luka Doncic. Do I see any path that has the Lakers and the Mavs making another trade together? Not in the near future. I will say this, that every scenario that you see out there, doesn't it just feel like if the Lakers can just somehow find a way to get the right big, it just kind of changes the entire scope of what you think about the Lakers. And whether that's Jarrett Allen or whether that's you pick the player that it is. I mean, I've said this before. I'm not trading for Jarrett Allen or Nick Claxton or any of these guys and using Austin Reeves. I think that would not. I don't think that would be a good idea. But I am finding a way, any shape, way, or form, to try to find a big with keeping Austin Reeves on this team. If you're trading Austin Reeves, then you better be getting a player that you know is going to be playing with Luka for the next, hopefully 5 years or so. Wild trade scenarios out there. Obviously, there's that's kind of the time of the year that we're in as well. People start speculating. You start throwing some things out there, and you see what eventually sticks. I will say, I don't think Mavs are going to make a move. I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they're trading anybody. I don't think Cooper Flagg's going to be going anywhere. But it is kind of a little wild that ESPN's putting that out there. Hey, let's throw out some different trade scenarios. One of them's got Jarrett Allen going to the Lakers. Great trade for the Lakers, but it's not happening. Okay, see another one here. Let's see. I'm actually excited for the finals. Finally, the young guys are coming to the forefront. It's about time. Tired of Steph. I got to be honest. I'm tired of a lot of these same players over and over again as well. All right, let me see another one here. Don't be desperate. Be smart of who you get. Yeah, listen, if I could be honest with everyone, if you're trading your first rounder and you're trading Dalton Connect and a couple expiring contracts, and you got the center that you think you need, and Austin Reeves didn't go, I don't think that's desperate. I think what's desperate is you traded, Austin Reeves and a draft pick, and you got a center that really isn't going to be a difference maker for the next few years. It doesn't really move the needle all that much. And then you lose a really talented player in Austin Reeves. That to me would be desperate. That to me would fall a little bit more along the lines of desperate. Competitive or collective bargaining agreement. It's the rules of the aprons and all that. A couple other players. Let me read a couple more of these comments here, and then I'm going to get to a couple more of the comments out here. Slee, you think? No, I don't. I don't think they'll revisit that Mark Williams trade. If you didn't make that trade before the trade deadline, it just kind of makes no sense to revisit it. Mark Williams was already throwing out laughing emojis the moment Lakers were eliminated from the play. I think that's over. Now, if you tell me, do I think Dalton Connect's part of the Lakers' future? I tell you, no, that's not the case. Is that 2031 pick that the Lakers have, is that going to be a part of the future? No, I don't think that's going to be the case. But I do believe that they'll definitely make a move for a big. I think whatever the Mark Williams idea and concept was, I do think those days are over. All right, thank you very much for watching the clip. Just want to give a shout out here to one of our partners, the Wallace Firm. They are official injury attorney of the Sliwa Show and Hoops Talk, the entire channel. If you are ever in a need, and I hope you're not, but some type of serious injury with yourself or a family member of yours, I would like to personally help you by introducing you to the best in the business, Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Also got a URL out here that you can use as well. Just go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Thank you for their partnership, and thank you for being a part of the Sliwa Show.